Meow, my friends. It seems the US Navy has decided to crash North Korea's missile party, and they're bringing the whole fleet. The Pentagon, in its infinite wisdom, has deployed additional naval forces to East Asia faster than you can say nuclear deterrence. Why? Well, it appears Kim Jong-un's latest hobby is lobbing ICBMs into the Sea of Japan, like he's practicing for the world's most dangerous game of darts. On October 30th, 2024, North Korea test-fired their Hwasong-18 intercontinental ballistic missile, which reportedly flew for a record 86 minutes. That's longer than most people's lunch breaks, folks. This oversized firecracker, described as the world's strongest by North Korean state media, travelled over 1,000 kilometres. It's like Kim Jong-un is trying to win a twisted science fair with a project titled How to Terrify Your Neighbours and Alienate Countries. But wait, there's more. North Korea, not content with merely scaring the whiskers off its neighbours with missiles, has apparently developed a new toy, noise weapons. Yes, you heard that right, my friends. While the rest of the world was busy inventing things like, renewable energy or cures for diseases, North Korea was perfecting the art of weaponized cacophony. It's like they've taken the concept of annoying neighbour and turned it into a military strategy. The Hermit Kingdom has decided that the best way to come out of its shell is by making everyone wish they'd crawl back in. These so-called noise weapons are reportedly causing distress among South Korean civilians. Imagine, if you will, the world's worst playlist. Think Nails on a Chalkboard meets A Cat in Heat, blasted at eardrum-shattering volumes. It's psychological warfare with a beat you can't dance to. South Korean villagers are probably wishing they could file a noise complaint with the UN Security Council. Maybe it's just North Korea's attempt at a national anthem, or perhaps Kim Jong-un's karaoke night got out of hand. Meow, in response to this symphony of chaos, the US has decided to park its floating cities off the coast, because nothing says calm down like an aircraft carrier or three. The USS George Washington, along with its merry band of destroyers and submarines, is now cruising the East Asian waters like it's on a very heavily armed pleasure cruise. It's a game of naval Tetris, with each piece capable of launching enough firepower to make Poseidon himself think twice about starting trouble. A US defense official who wishes to remain anonymous, probably to avoid being on North Korea's playlist, stated, "North Korea's actions represent a clear and present danger to regional stability. Our naval deployment is a necessary response to ensure the security of our allies." Translation: we're sending big boats with big guns because Kim won't play nice in the sandbox. Meanwhile, the US, South Korea and Japan have been busy with their own war games, Operation We Can Play Too. On November 14th, 2024, they conducted the Freedom Edge naval drills, led by the USS George Washington. It's like a very expensive, very serious game of Risk, but with real aircraft carriers and potential global consequences. I hear the loser has to listen to North Korea's noise weapons for 24 hours straight. As tensions rise, so do military budgets. The US has approved a $5 billion military aid package to South Korea. It's like they're having a buy one missile defense system, get one free sale. As military spending skyrockets, economists are left wondering if missiles might be the new Bitcoin. Time to invest in bunker building companies, perhaps. Maybe we should start a new cryptocurrency, Kimcoin. Its value drops every time North Korea launches a missile. But let's not forget the man behind the curtain, or in this case, the man behind the big red button. Kim Jong-un, the prodigal son who never met a military parade he didn't like, has been busy turning North Korea into the world's most ironic amusement park. Missiles and mayhem land. His leadership style can best be described as toddler with a tantrum, but with nuclear capabilities. He's like a cat with a laser pointer, except the laser pointer is an ICBM, and the red dot is aimed at global stability. Of course, the UN has responded with its usual vigour, imposing sanctions that are about as effective as trying to stop a charging rhinoceros with a feather duster. They've banned luxury goods imports and frozen assets, which I'm sure has Kim Jong-un quaking in his designer boots. Maybe if we sanction his hair gel supply, he'll finally come to the negotiating table. South Korea, caught between a rock and a hard place, or should I say, between missiles and noise, is considering fighting fire with fire. Perhaps they'll retaliate with K-pop blasted at full volume. I hear BTS has a new album that could be weaponized for the greater good. Recent polls show that over 76% of South Koreans now support pursuing their own nuclear capabilities, because apparently the only thing that can stop a bad guy with a nuke is a good guy with a nuke. Right, it's like trying to put out a fire by throwing more matches at it. And let's not forget the latest plot twist in this geopolitical soap opera. North Korea has reportedly sent 10,000 troops to support Russia in Ukraine. Because nothing says we're not the bad guys, quite like helping another international pariah in their spare time. It's like they're trying to win the most likely to start World War III superlative in the global high school yearbook. China and Russia, meanwhile, are watching from the sidelines like the cool kids who don't want to get involved in the playground scuffle but can't help but egg it on. They're probably passing notes that say, "Do you like North Korea? Circle yes or no." Meow, my friends. If you're enjoying this roller coaster of international relations, why not hit that subscribe button? It's less dangerous than a North Korean missile and won't make your ears bleed like their noise weapons. Plus, it might just be the only sane action in this entire situation. As we wrap up this delightful tale of international tension, let's not forget the real victims here, the fish in the Sea of Japan. They didn't sign up for this underwater rave of missile tests and naval exercises. Perhaps it's time we considered their feelings in all of this. After all, they're probably the only ones not making any noise in this whole debacle. Maybe they're the ones behind the noise weapons, seeking revenge for all the sonar disruptions. It's always the quiet ones you have to watch out for. In conclusion, we find ourselves in a world where missiles are launched like fireworks, noise is a weapon, and international relations resemble a particularly chaotic episode of a reality TV show. It's a situation so absurd, so utterly ridiculous, that if it weren't for the very real consequences, we'd all be laughing. But here we are, watching as world leaders play a game of chicken with weapons that could destroy us all, while the rest of us are left wondering if we should invest in noise-cancelling headphones or just learn to enjoy the apocalyptic symphony. Stay tuned, my friends, for the next episode of As the World Burns, brought to you by human folly and a complete lack of common sense. I'm Ron de Parmesan, and this has been another Newscat special report.